Hi, this is for you. Also, I ask this for you.
Stop! You're not gonna just let that go.
What's up, guys? We're back for another video. This is Ju and Shan, and we are excited to start our new series. It's called Cuffing Season, and this is inspired by the NFL wife routines. You know, Shan's been doing her little TikTok thing, NFL wife routines, and we just want to tap into a lot of things now. So we're gonna have a lot of NFL couples, a lot of professional couples come on here and talk about their experiences and their difficulties and their, you know, their excitements in their relationships. So it's gonna be really fun for you guys to experience and even to build some knowledge on what's happening in their relationship. So
The real story is not the TikTok version.
all right, so we're so excited to, you know, really get into this. And we have our first couple. Our first couple is Erica and Austin Carr, and these guys are our friends from New Orleans, our brothers and sisters of Christ, and we're so excited to have these guys on here. So we can just go into their relationship and just open everything up so they can share their knowledge with you guys. We'll see you guys soon. Take care. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? We are here with Austin and Erica Carr. This is a great time to, you know, just get right. You know, this is cuffing season. We got our cuffing stuff on. It's time to get right, and we're here to answer our first questions here with Austin and Erica. I mean, these are our best friends from New Orleans. Great time seeing them. They've been so great to us, Shan. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
They've been really great to us.
Erica is actually the first person I met in New Orleans too. She reached out to me, and I was so incredibly scared because I was like, all right, we're moving. I know I'm gonna have to start reaching out to people. And she reached out to me, and it made me so happy because I was so scared.
I know.
But yeah, first person.
This is like full circle because before I reached out, I was like, oh, they've got a YouTube. Let me watch some of their YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, check these people out. They seem pretty cool.
We had like probably
Yeah, we probably had like a couple videos.
five followers at that time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, guys. Well, we just want to dive into your story. Well, we first want to hear about just how you guys met, where you met, where you're from, and we'll start off and we'll go on from there.
Way back in 2012, shirtless on the beach. I was shirtless. Erica was not. She had a shirt. No, you had your
Whatever
swimsuit on. It was like in the movies when the group of the guys, the freshman football players and the freshman cross country runners are just sort of, they see each other from afar on the beach. It's before classes started, but they're working out, and then they sort of just meander toward one another, and then we ended up talking and sort of hitting it off. I was with like the two Cali boys that were on the team that were freshmen, and then another guy or two, and then Erica was with a group of her girls, and so we mixed it up for like 5-10 minutes, and then we parted ways. And you know, like when you're with your boys, like you call dibs, right? Or you say, okay, like, look, I want this one. And I never knew that girls did that too, but they did that as well.
Of course.
And so Erica, we like to say Erica saw the light before I did, because
I called dibs on him.
Yeah.
Called dibs on him, but he called dibs on another girl.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate that. You know,
I picked the girl from Texas.
Wow.
ew. I love Texas.
No, nothing against Texas. Nothing against
But we all know girls from Iowa. Hello.
Way better.
We met when we were freshmen. We were both at Northwestern University, student athletes, and we were fall sport athletes. So it was fun because we got to get to know each other a little bit before the school year started. But what's kind of fun, like we both really got to know each other as we got involved in this campus ministry with athletes called Athletes in Action. And just during our 4 years, like we were both really involved. So we really, it was fun. We had a pretty extended friendship, which was just a blessing, like dated some other people and whatnot, but literally traveled across the world. We went on a mission trip to East Asia together, you know, not even dating, like just as two people involved. So we really got to see a lot of sides of each other. A lot of things happen when you travel across the world.
Yeah.
So
Spiritually, emotionally, intestinally, all those things.
yeah, you eat some crazy stuff.
Right.
So.
Wait.
Austin, when did you know that Erica was the one?
When did I know she was the one? It's funny. I was just thinking about this like the other day. I knew Erica was the one when we sat down in one of our pastor's offices and asked him about like, okay, hey, like what kind of couples should get engaged. The whole reason I wanted to go to him was because I wasn't sure Erica would want to live the NFL life, right? Like the potential of moving from city to city, week to week, instability, right? Obviously, there's the financial gain, but that's really unsteady. And you've just got to sort of be with me. We're not going to have a long distance marriage, right? Like I knew I didn't want that. And Erica had worked with the FBI for a couple of years. She'd worked on Capitol Hill for a whole summer, and she had like job offers in DC for her. And here I am, I'm trying to chase this football dream. And so we sit down in Pastor Steve's office, and I sort of share my heart. And I'm like, look, that's why I'm not ready to get engaged. Like I want her to like really see what the NFL life is like. And he just turned to me and was like, Austin, like she's a big girl. She can make her own decisions. She can decide for herself. And I remember I was like shocked, and I looked at her, and she was like nodding like, is that
Right.
And I was like, oh dang, okay. And so then we went. He advised us to like go talk to a couple of NFL couples and like see what it's like and talk to them about just what the NFL life is like. And we did, and Erica was like totally on board. She was asking the wife, all sorts of questions. Oh, so you did this and this. And long story short, once I saw Erica respond so positively, and after I heard that pastor / counselor say, she's a grown woman, she can make her own choices, right? She knows what a yes to you means. I was like, dang, okay. So we could actually do this together. Like, all right, let's get married.
Yeah, and it was the kind of thing like where it was like, we can wait, like we can go live our separate lives and wait to get married. But for me, I was like, I want to be on this journey with you. Like whatever it takes us, like it's only going to last so long. Like I think that's the real of like professional life together. Like we don't know how long it's going to last, and it's not going to last forever. I mean, some people have 25-year careers, but very unlikely. So yeah.
The exact boat that we were in too, because I was working at the time when all of this was going on for Juwan, and we were like kind of trying to figure out what to do, and then it was like, we knew we wanted to get married before he left, but we didn't really have any plans. And so then, he proposed in January, we got married in February, so that we can peace out in April. And it's like,
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to do another year of long distance because we had done a year of long distance before. And I just didn't see the point in like not following him around. Like that's kind of what you commit to when you're, you date to marry, right? So I dated him knowing that could be my potential.
Yeah.
Having to follow him, so.
Have to make that decision, like what do you want to prioritize? And you just think like, man, at the end of the day, like there's some really cool things that, I think we can do professionally, individually, but why not just be on the journey of life together and like, we'll figure it out together. Like at the end of the day, I just realized I'd rather be doing life with Austin and then do it separately apart and have whatever success, for me. And everyone can make their own decision, but that was
and I would say like, it's okay to go your separate ways, but I think Erica choosing to stay with me and want to get married was sort of this first real taste of one of us denying ourselves and deciding to put the other's desires and the other's dreams above their own. Because Erica had all these dreams, desires, and opportunities outside of what I was about and what being married to me was about. But she decided, I want Austin above my own dreams and above my own things. And so that I feel like was just an amazing foundation for our marriage to flourish.
And even on that, I think what gave me confidence was hearing him describe, like, Erica, you being willing to sacrifice, like, your things right now for me. Like, when the NFL is over, it's all about your dreams. Right. And just hearing that, like, it was clearly this person, like, Austin is not this selfish, like, you better follow me, it's about me, or, or you're not a part of it. Right. It's like, this NFL thing is time sensitive. Like, I have to do it now. Right. I can't wait. Like, it has to happen now. It has this specific time window. And then once it's over, it's over. Right. So it's one of those things like, yeah, like, I can spend a few years doing this thing, and then we'll figure out what's next. Right.
I love that.
Awesome.
I think that's so cool because I know so many people just in sports in general who like, or a guy who's older, he's been in whatever league for a long time, and he almost doesn't want to date a girl that's willing to like commit to him because he wants a girl at like similar status who's like at level with where he's at. But then it's like, what are you valuing in life? Because at the end of the day, it's like maybe those other people that aren't like whatever you're doing, I'm only dating a model, or I'm only dating, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like, what about the person who committed to you from the very beginning?
Yeah.
Because that's the person that's actually willing to like do life with you. Because then what? What happens when you're done with your sport?
That's true.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so often I think it's easy to get caught up in the flashiness of the now.
Yeah.
It's like, man, it all ends, and then you're gonna have like the mundane of life, and will you still love each other in that mundane time? Like, can you still commit to each other in that time? And
most of marriage is not flashy, as y'all know. It's feet up, stinky on the couch, eating a bowl of soup or whatever. Like, you know, like that's most of marriage, right? And then you get these high points and these cool highlights, but the day to day is like not all this flashy celeb life. And I get it. Like, I understand, like, if you're single and if you're a celeb, it's probably hard to trust just, you know, Billy from high school, right? Because he's kind of just a fan, right? But and so that's why I can understand why I think celebrities tend to date amongst themselves, because I think there's this shared understanding of the lifestyle and the challenges and stuff. But if your identity is so wrapped up in your celebrity status, I think you can miss out on the realness of life with others.
Yeah. And we do, I'll just say we recognize like our privilege in the fact that we got to spend 4 years getting to know each other, and that's something that like we're very blessed we got to have that. And so other people's stories can be very different. But for us, it just worked out that we got to know each other in that way. And so kind of just had confidence in who each other was, and like really trust that we both support one another. So.
And for Erica, as an NFL wife, what was your favorite moment, or not favorite, what's your favorite aspect of being an NFL wife, and what is the most challenging aspect of being an NFL wife?
Oh man. Favorite moment. So I mean, I could probably think of a million, but I love, like, as stressful as everything can be, like not knowing things, I kind of love spontaneity, and I almost love that we don't know where we're gonna live. Like, it's like a love-hate, but there's just this excitement. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me.
I just can't wait for cut day, you know? Who knows?
No, not that. But just the, like, no, cut day every year is the lowest. That is the worst. But just the excitement of like, we don't have any control on where we're gonna live. And so, like, I never would have chosen New Orleans. I'm from Iowa. I didn't know about New Orleans. And in my head, all I think is like, oh, like Bourbon Street and, you know, flash people to get beats. But then I get down here and like, I discover this community of people, just a place that's just so special. Like I have loved living here. And we've had the privilege of being here for 4 years and really getting to know a place. So I don't know, I think one of my favorite things, and then we had a brief stint where we got to live in New England together, and you know, I got to discover New England culture a little bit, what Massachusetts was like, and so getting to just experience things, and because you don't have control, it's like you're not even choosing it, so you're just getting brought into these places that you wouldn't have chosen for yourself. So I mean, there's so many things I love, but that's one thing that I really love. Like, New Orleans has just been such a gift. I love living here, and, you know, love being a part of the culture, and I have just really been brought in by such, you know, New Orleans people they just become family like that. So.
What it is about people in New Orleans, but like, I mean, maybe it's because I grew up in LA, like people just aren't nice here. Like, that's just known. Like, everyone's mean, right? But
Yes.
So they're a bit self-absorbed. I'm sorry, Austin. I'm just saying. I mean, Cali people.
I mean, you're
just a
like,
little different.
hello.
And I feel like you got pockets of people like that in California. There's a ton of good people in California. Come on, Shannon, you gotta take them to those places.
Like, hello?
She's alright, but you know it. You know it.
Well, I mean, I feel like we brought up the most challenging thing. Well, I don't know, but I mean, cut day. It's so hard, right? Like you're never safe, And I think, yeah, maybe that's just the flip side of the coin. Like, I love that the spontaneity and the surprise of I can be brought somewhere where I wouldn't have chosen, but at the same time, yeah, the instability can also be really hard. September 1st, like that weekend, is always the worst weekend.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that until this year. And I did not believe in it. Well, first of all, I didn't realize how nonchalantly they just cut people. I did not think that was a thing. Yeah. It's a thing. And then it's all fun and games to say you're ready to move and have a good time. When it's the end of season and then next season I might be somewhere else. But when it's you're moved in, I moved in August, and then September 1st are it's
right. Right, it's crazy.
What do I do now?
It's wild.
Yeah. The guys do all they can do, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's they're gonna be upset about whatever happens, but they're we did all I did all I could do. Yeah. I literally didn't do anything. So I'm over here right. I don't know how this is going.
Right.
I didn't do all I mean, I did all I can do on the other side of things, but I'm
right.
It's blind, you know?
And that's the whole thing. It's you're sitting there and you, this is your best friend, right? And so you care so much about them, but you literally can't do anything to help them make the team. All you can do is just support them and, and encourage them, and cry with them or cry for them. He doesn't really cry well, but I do the crying. So it's when he's cut, it's you feel it just as deeply because I don't know. When
you're invested.
Yeah, you're so invested in this person, and so
yeah,
it's hard.
It is.
That's true.
That was the worst day of my life.
Yeah, it's definitely hard, and that's we're kind of gonna get into this question. Austin, how do you come home? How do you sort of navigate your feelings when either it's a bad practice or a bad experience or just a bad game? You're having a wife who's coming home, who's excited to see you, and she's in a great mood, and then you just came home from just one of the worst days of practice, just everything just didn't go right. How do you sort of maneuver or navigate those feelings coming back?
Yeah. After a tough day, I usually talk about it. I'm an external processor.
Right.
As you can tell, I can talk a lot.
Right.
So
we are talkers.
Yes. So many times, it's been a tough practice or a tough day, and I might not know why. I just feel a certain way. I feel negative. I get home and I talk with Erica, and then I realize why I feel that way. Right. And she does a great job of bringing stuff out of me and me bringing stuff out of her. But I would say generally the first 2 or 3 years, I would get home and right away we'd be talking.
Right.
But I actually think this past year with a son, first of all, but then also being a vet, it was my 4th year. There's a lot less new things to experience, and especially being on the same team now 4 years in a row, there's just fewer new faces, especially with the Saints. I mean, there hasn't been a ton of turnover. Obviously, seeing your faces this year was a delight, but I think I talked a little bit less this year than years past, just because
it was also it was a weirder year. There was less happening outside of.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost every day was just kind of a normal day instead of I don't know, exciting events coming up or opportunities to go do things.
Yeah. But you talk to some dudes and they get home, they don't want to talk about football at all. And I understand that work should generally stay at work,
right.
But my best friend wants to hear how the day went, and I want to get stuff off my chest.
I agree. I mean,
and that's it's for me it's the opposite. I don't want to bring a lot of stress on her, and cause she's a person that's so much of a worrier, and she worries so much. If I had a bad day, she's like, "Oh, well, they're gonna cut you." No, I just had a bad day. It's not anything they're gonna come here. They think any less of me. It's just that I don't bring a whole lot to her just based off of attending to her feelings. But I know learning at the end of the year, expressing myself to her when I come home, it's better because she will worry, obviously, whether I don't tell her or not.
I
just
worry
think
more when
it's good. It's good to know that she knows why.
I need to know everything. I need to know every detail of everything, or else I'm gonna worry, and I need to get it out of my system, or else I'm gonna think about it. So I need to say everything I can say.
Right.
And know everything
she
I
needs
can
to know what stance it was I was in and how I caught it a certain way. Like she needs to know every detail.
Asked those questions.
She needs to know what yard line it was on. She needs.
I don't even know the yard lines.
We play some kind of.
Guys too.
Like, didn't you sometimes feel like you were in those plays? Like sometimes you're like in the game. You're like, oh, come on.
Erica scores touchdowns every game.
Yeah.
Like we should be feeling that way. But I definitely struggle with not hearing him, not knowing everything. So
like also I feel like that's something over the course of your relationship, like you figure out communication styles and like this is your guys' first year of marriage. Like I feel like you guys have like grown so much as a couple and figuring out like how to communicate, like what do you want to share when you bring home when you get home from a day of work. And like we all have to figure that out for ourselves, like because that's where we're all going to be different. So
I know I have problems with that. I'm always ready to talk about everything. If I don't get it out, it's over for me. Like I'll literally be eating a big meal. I'm like, oh well, I hope my bite wasn't too big. I hope I don't choke on my bite. Like,
Very much. It's like
always worried.
always worried.
She has one more question.
more.
But it's more so a question for Erica.
Okay, all good.
Good.
I'm the worst. But this is going to be the eternal last question because every video, this is the question.
No, but it can be hers as well because it kind of goes hand in hand.
Okay. First you, then you. Okay, Erica.
You and you.
You. What?
Right.
Yes. What is your NFL wife routine?
oh okay, are we talking Sundays like game day?
Yeah, sure. Like what you do, like you wake up, my eyes start to open.
Right. I wake up. Well, it's interesting actually. This year's a different year because we just had our first child. That definitely changed things up. So even the days would change. Like in the beginning, like, oh, I want to bring my baby. How cute. Like, I'm going to get up, get him looking cute. I'm going to get to the game, take a cute picture. His son is at the game. We'll hold these breaths. Then, of course, I get to the game and he's like,
Right.
that quickly ended. So my new mother NFL wife routine became waking up on Sundays. Normally I'd, if church was open with COVID, but I'd go to church and like, it was always fun. Like, you have everyone at church is a Saints fan too. So you have like everyone in their Saints jerseys, which is just kind of cool. You feel the spirit, the spirit, the Holy Spirit and the spirit of fandom. But yeah, then head down to the game. Always I like to get there early, just to watch him warm up, like get there. It's just fun. These moments only last so long. So getting there early, seeing what's going on. Again, we talk a lot, so I know everybody out there, and I'm like, oh, nice job, Traquan. Like, oh yeah, all right, good job, Jawan. And so just get there early, watch. Like normally there's another one of the wives who you kind of meet up, hang out with, whether it was you, Shan, or a couple other friends who you try to watch the game with, and sit there nervously. You're watching, and normally Austin tells me like I'm gonna be in a couple of these plays, a couple of those plays, so I'm watching for certain plays, and I'm like, oh come on, this is his chance to catch one, like, or oh he's in the red zone, like here we go, he said he had a couple red zone plays. So yeah, I'm a pretty nervous watcher, so I don't like to talk a lot during games because I'm like very stressed.
She really does not like sitting around people who aren't watching the game.
I just get so stressed. So yeah, and then after the game, in past years, this year was different, but in past years it was always fun. Like we'd get to hang out after the game. There's like a big family and friends room where then you see all the other like wives, girlfriends, family members, and you get to hang out, and you just feel the sense of community. Like our time in New Orleans, we just had such community. on the team. So there's just such great people that you get to spend time with, and then afterwards, a lot of times we'd go to someone's house and we had some really good times. One of the guys on the team had a little garage band that
Oh man,
also would jam with them. Yeah.
that was the deal,
I will not get a guitar. That's one thing I won't do. I won't get a guitar.
bro.
Slowly convincing everyone on the team.
You gotta
to-
follow Tony's lead, bro. Y'all gotta have a band.
I don't know if I can get a guitar. Not sure about that.
So sorry, that wasn't a super succinct routine, but
No, I loved it. That's
Good.
so
And
good.
now it's Austin's turn to give us your game day.
yeah, you
My
have
game day
yeah,
routine.
So,
Oh,
player
man.
routine. Here's our a game day NFL player routine.
Oh man, game day routine. Well, it starts with the night before, right?
It starts with the night before.
I'll give you the 3 P's for the night before. Okay. You got prayer, you got piano, you got pressure. Okay. So
Prayer, piano, pressure.
And pressure.
yes.
I love that. Okay.
Some of the guys, Juwan included, like to get some prayer in, cover each other, support each other, encourage each other night before. After that, usually I go and there's usually a piano in the hotel, and
I love
I'm
that.
not gonna say I'm Stevie Wonder with it, but I'm about a John Legend, so I'm trying to, I'm trying to get there. So I like to play piano, and it really soothes me. It like calms me down. It really eases any tension. But then pressure, what does that mean? Well, I usually bring my Normatec boots, or I use the ones that the team has. And so it's a little pressure on my legs. I elevate my legs, get the blood, cycled through, and then go to bed. Let's say the game's at like 3:30, so I'll wake up the next morning, probably around 7:30, get breakfast. I will read my Bible a little bit, pray some more, maybe talk to some family, try to take a nap, try to get like 30 minutes if I can, power nap before we have to be at the stadium, usually 2 hours before the game, so 1:30. Head into the stadium. If I see Jamie, check in with her, see what the post game meal is, just so I'm getting ready, right?
Who's Jamie? Who's Jamie?
Jamie's our nutritionist. If it's Chipotle, that's very different than Chick-fil-A, which is very different than even Cane's. But and then I'm getting suited up, warming up, playing in the game, locked in. I mean, that's kind of a blur. You're in instinct mode then, right? And giving your all on the field. And yeah, like Erica mentioned, like usually post game, you're down. Usually like the wives and family would come down on the field. You can take some photos. People with kids.
Next year, guys.
Next year when Baby Johnson too. Maybe. No pressure, don't rush. Hang out on the field, and then it depends on just what the post game move is. Usually the mood is good. We've won a lot in the last few years, so the garage band was really fun because we would just go to Larry's house and we'd be, turning up, but in a contained manner.
Turn up.
Alright guys, thanks so much for watching our video today. More to come. We're gonna do it once a week and have a new couple on every single week. We're super excited. Let us know what you think down below. And if there's any questions that you want us to start asking couples, put it down there below so that we know what to ask.
All right, peace out, guys. We love you guys, and stay tuned.